Well, you've already mentioned transport, but that's our next biggest thing that lots of Mumsnetters have mentioned, and some who are London dwellers are very angry about how family unfriendly London transport is, with regards to trying to travel on trains, with prams, and on buses where they get refused entry onto a bus because they've got a pram, and especially at peak commuter times where they don't even get the opportunity to get onto trains and buses because they've got children or prams or whatever, because people just don't let them on. So do you have any strategies with which you can help to deal with the issue of people not being able to travel with children within the London especially?
It's a huge issue, one that comes up time and time again, but all our bus drivers, all our staff are under instructions to help people where they possibly can to get onto buses with buggies, and it is sometimes difficult on the trains. Unfortunately, I didn't run on the trains yet in London. There's an argument going on between us and central government about joint franchising, which we're very keen to encourage. But clearly, it's something that is of huge value to families, and we're spending unbelievable sums on putting in step-free access around London. I think at Green Park tube station alone, we're spending £94 million putting in a lift. Shepherd's Bush is about £100 million putting in.
That's a lot for a lift.
Well, they're expensive.
90 million.
It's a deep lift.
It's a deep lift, and it's one of the reasons we're under such budgetary pressure. But we take it very, very seriously, and clear. I've got to be absolutely clear. One of the few benefits, in my view, of the bendy bus is that it is quite accessible for buggies, and I've got to be clear about that. It has that virtue. Now, it's vital that the new generation bus that we're bringing in will be just as good, if not better.
Would you be at all interested in offering free transport costs for children, especially school children? Because some families obviously have the trains, in particular the trains, because some people have to use train and then a bus, and obviously the bus part is free, the train part isn't. But is that tied into?
It is a big issue, and I'd love to be able to wave a wand and say you can have free transport on the trains, but actually this should be something that the rail companies should be providing, if anybody's going to provide it. I move people around the underground. I move people on the buses, and we have free transport. Did you have that in Manchester?
I have to say, we had this discussion before I came in, and being from Manchester, terrible. I think the transport in London is amazing.
Ah, you go. Thank you very much. And it's free. It's free for kids. And actually, shall I tell you something, Sharon? I get beaten up, but I get attacked. I get attacked a lot for continuing with these concessions for young people. People say it's crazy. Why all these bourgeois kids travelling for free? They could pay something. It's outrageous.
There aren't many, though, are there? There's more poor children in London, perhaps, than rich, maybe.
Well, sure. But on the other hand, it's a universal subsidy, and lots of poor people. And the point people make is that lots of hard-working people on low incomes who are paying to subsidise everybody else. And the same point is made about the over 60s. And people say, well, why is it that affluent bourgeois people are all having their freedom? Now, in both those cases, for young people and old people, we will not touch those concessions. They are completely inviolate, and in spite of all the difficulties that we're in, we'll continue with them. What I don't think is possible now in the current climate is to extend the concessions further, for us to pay for more free travel. I just don't think people would. That's not where people want to see the balance of decision making. On London transport generally, I think one point I would make about travel for families, it has got and is getting a lot safer, and we've put huge numbers of people in uniform on the buses and at suburban railway stations and one thing and another, and crime on buses was down in my first year by 18%. Last year it went down by a further 8%. It is really very safe now on the buses and on the tubes as well, partly because we banned alcohol consumption, which I think was the right thing.
Do you want to be mayor in my town? It's not safe in my town on the bus.
Where are you?
Worthing, down in South Coast, yeah.
Well, you see, no, we did have we have this plan to create kind of zone 7, where I engulf
the rest of the world.
I engulf sort of Slough and Guildford and St Albans and all that kind of thing, and make life easier for everybody there. But Worthing so far is beyond my territorial ambitions.
I do live in London. I am a born and bred Londoner from South East London.
Fantastic.
So I'm representing.
Fantastic. Where from Bexley or Bromley or whereabouts?
Well, from Dulwich originally.
Dulwich.
And we really wanted to know about your relationship with David Cameron. How are you?
You want to know about my relationship with David Cameron? My God.
How are you two getting on at the moment?
I'm not going to take any difficult questions.
It's not difficult.
I've done so well. I've been so relentlessly dull about bus crime, and I've said all the right things. Come on, I've almost got through to 10 past. Look, I mean, I've got a very good, productive relationship with. Yeah, I would say it was productive. A good neutral word.
working relationship.
A good productive working relationship. Happy relationship with lots of my former colleagues and friends in. Sorry, the word former only governs colleagues rather than friends in the Conservative Party, because they're still my friends, and you know, obviously there are going to be issues from time to time where like on, you know, you said London's budget's been ring-fenced. I'm afraid that's very far from true. There are going to be some serious discussions to be had with George and Dave about budgets.
Is this a common thing? I have an instant dislike to George Osborne.
Oh,
Never
God,
met
yes.
him. Is this something that's
Well,
quite
they
common?
kept him in the basement, didn't they, during the parliamentary campaign?
Do you know what? According to the Financial Times, if you can't believe that, what can you believe? I read this week that he is the most popular Conservative Chancellor ever. Now that may not be a very hotly contested field. So he beats Nigel Lawson, he beats Geoffrey Howe. So there you go. So
if I could just say, there's a feeling amongst the Tories that you're not on message. Do you think you're on message?
Justine, why? I thought the question was going very well. You know, it depends what the message is. I think I am. I think the message that I have is a very good one, and
I think people find it refreshing that somebody like Boris is there and isn't, you know, towing the line all the time, and he actually says what he thinks.
I mean, frankly, you know, I always found it exhausting, even when I was an MP. It was too hard to find out what the line was. By the time it kept changing, exactly. So by the time you're in a TV studio being interrogated about something, you're far better looking at the issue and just deciding on you know what you think.
Are you on Twitter? That might help.
This is a deep waters.
Right, okay, go off.
These are deep waters. I'm not allowed. My Twitter presence is one of those secrets.